If the sight of a refrigerated container spooks you out, you need to start thinking about choices. Grenadian funeral director David Williams, who operates in New York, says the coronavirus pandemic narrows down one's choice. Commenting on the panic setting here after a refrigerated container was sighted close to the compound of the Mongay Mental Hospital, he said,
You have two realities. You have the containers and you have the 72 hours. Which one you're going to choose? So the container is a form of preparation. When we were flooded with bodies last year, when you go from 5 folders weekly to 55 in a week, it's management. Your management mode has to kick in.
Mr. Williams commended the funeral directors in Grenada who acted proactively and brought in the refrigerated facilities and, in other cases, upgraded their capacity. He says in New York, at the start of the pandemic, it was chaotic and Grenada needs to avoid that pitfall.
We were calling the medical examiner, no information. The Department of Health, no information. You quickly realize you have to have refrigeration. You were inundated with calls. You were getting calls. We had to shut the phone down. When you shut the phone down, you can't get to the calls from the answering service at the end of the day because you're finishing 2 and 3 in the morning. So it was a situation you have to quickly address. At least Bailey's new facility may hold 15, but who knows how many you may have next week. You have to be prepared.
Wayne Watts is also a Grenadian funeral director operating out of the tri-state area in New York. He says the worst thing that could happen in a pandemic is a lack of preparedness.
Because in the event that we are experiencing many deaths, then there may not be enough space in the morgue at the hospital to maintain the body for the period of time that is necessary. So by having the container, you're now allotting more space to house your loved one. And it is true, the sight of the container is telling us that death is coming, or there will be a lot of number of death coming. But we are in a pandemic, so the possibility does exist. When we faced with the pandemic here in New York City, no one were prepared. The hospital was not prepared. The medical examiner was not prepared.
Funeral director David Williams says even in this frightening and frustrating period, families need to be treated in a gracious manner, and he firmly believes that all will be well once people get past the fright created by the sight of a container.
My funeral home was I had no less than over 70 bodies here on a given period, at a given time. So how do you make preparations for that? We were never prepared for that. So you look into a refrigerated truck, you're trying to preserve their loved ones, not to be disrespectful, but to preserve that loved ones, to hold the body for a longer period. And if they're not able to do such, then you have to bury the body.
Mr. Williams and Mr. Watts were guests on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program on Monday night. With GBN News, Janelle MacDonald.